videos for worksheet 1-4 for the class discovering pre-algebra part 3, and in this one we're going to use proportions to solve some problems. So remember that we're writing two ratios when we're trying to do that, and let's go ahead and get started. So on this first one, Janet has 30 classmates in her classroom. 18 of those are girls. If there are a total of 500 students in the school, approximately how many students are girls? So we're looking at a relationship between the class and between the school. We're also looking at a relationship of girls versus total. So in the class there is a total of 30 and 18 of those are girls. And in our second ratio, the school, there are 500 students in the school and we don't know how many are girls. So using that opposite operation, if 500 is dividing x, I got to multiply 500 on both sides. These cancel, and you're going to be left with 500 times 18 over 30 equals x. All right, so what is 500 times 18? Well, it's 9,000, which is actually a pretty good number because it divides evenly with 30. And that is going to mean 30 can go into this 300 times. So x is 300. If there are 500 students, 300 of those students will be girls. Sorry, my dog walked in and decided to knock everything over and be as loud as she possibly could in the process. All right, Juju swims 2.5 miles and sees a total of 12 fish. If John swims a total of 8 miles, approximately how many fish will this should say John see? Juju is our first one. So our two proportions are Juju and John. And we are looking at what they can do in the miles that they swim versus the fish that they see. So Juju swam 5 miles. Now I want to change that actually, because you should always put what is unknown on the top. And in this one, how many fish is what's unknown. So I'm going to put fish versus miles. So if Juju swims 2.5 miles and sees 12 fish, then John should, in 8 miles, see X amount of fish. All right, got to multiply both sides by 8. So 8 times 12 divided by 2.5 equals X. 8 times 12 is going to give me 96. Remember that if you want to divide that, you're going to want to move that decimal, and you should get that he's going to see 38.4 fish. Now, you can't have 0.4 of a fish. So we could say approximately 38 fish instead of 38.4. Audrey plays basketball for 8 minutes and makes 14 points. If she plays for a total of 21 minutes, approximately how many points will Audrey make? Okay, so we have two different times that we're playing basketball. The first time we want to know approximately how many points, so we're going to compare points to minutes. In the first one, she plays for 8 minutes and makes 14 points. And in the second one, we don't know how many points, but she does play for 21 minutes. Sorry about that. So to get x by itself, I need to do that opposite operation. If 21 is dividing x, I'm going to multiply so that it cancels out. And we get this, 21 times 14 divided by 8. So if I work out the top of that, the 21 times the 14, I'm going to get 294 divided by 8 equals x. Okay? Now, I can't get a third of a point, which is what you find whenever you do this. X equals 36.75. Now, I could have that 7 round up the 6, or because she didn't quite make that next point, you could have kept it at 36. So we could have said approximately 36 or approximately 37 points. All right. 2 more. Nicholas wants to guess how many marbles are in a box that has a height of 18 inches. He calculates that there are 32 marbles in a height of 5 inches. Approximately how many marbles are in the box? So this is a good ploy or strategy. When you're trying to guess, you know those competitions where guess how many jelly beans are in the box? You can use a smaller set that you can control and use a proportion to figure out what's in the bigger set. So we have a small box and we have a big box and we're comparing, so how many marbles? So we're comparing marbles and height. So in a small box that has 5 inches of height, we see 32 marbles. So in that big box that is 18 inches in height, how many marbles will there be? We'll multiply both sides by 18. $18 times 32 is 576 divided by 5. It's going to be 115.2. That's what x is going to equal. Now, if I'm going to guess, if I'm guessing how many marbles, usually the rules are the closest guess without going over. So I don't want to round at all. I'm going to want to put 115. I'm going to truncate that point 2 and get rid of it. All right, last one. There are 120 cars in a parking lot. Jason looks at 12 cars and finds out that 3 of those cars are gray colored. Approximately how many cars are in the parking lot are gray in color? Okay. So there's 120 cars in this parking lot, and Jason's like, I don't have enough time to go through all of them and count up all the gray. But if I do it to 12, I find that 3 of those are gray. So 3 out of 12 are gray, and that's my first ratio. So how many out of 120 cars would be gray? Well, to be able to do this, I have to get x by itself, which means since it's dividing by 120, I got to do that opposite operation of multiplying. So that is going to give me 120 times 3 divided by 12 equals x. So 120 times 3 is going to be 360 over 12. And if I divide it by 12, x is just going to be 30. So if 3 out of 12 are gray, then 30 out of 120 are gray. All right, there you go. I'll see you all in class. Let me know if you have any questions, and arrivederci.